Hello everyone, the Honest Collector, back with another video and here to give you the truth on the DC Multiverse McFarlane toys Injustice 2 Superman. This is of course, technically a page punchers. The other ones were released in the page puncher packaging, I believe, but this one isn't. Why? I have no idea. But yeah, it's cool to see a video game figure in this kind of packaging. I think it's also because blue and Superman, it looks pretty good. I like what I'm seeing already from the figure here. I think it looks really nice. The packaging is pretty standard, but we do have the incorrect art on the back. I believe this is from the actual comic, maybe. I don't know, or at least that's what it looks like it's inspired by. He has the flesh hands. When here they're red. Different blue armor, no armor, so it is pretty weird, but it does say from Injustice 2, so this is obviously the video game, not the animated film, or the first game, or the comic. So, yeah, I mean, nonetheless, it is just the box, and I'm not gonna have it in here forever, obviously. So, let's open this thing up, and let's check it out. And here is the Superman out of the packaging, and my gosh, this figure has to be talked about. This thing looks insane, and it's just so much that I want to talk about here. First, I'll go on to the accessories. You can see he does have the one punching hand here and the one open hand, and the good thing about this figure is that we get an even pair. So you get the other punching hand, the other open hand, which can double as flying hands as well, which I'm okay with because I'm tired of that BS with the one open hand and one punching hand. I'm looking at you, Zack Snyder, Justice League, Red and Blue, or Black Superman. So then you get the trading card, which is, again, not the right suit. So what's the point? I usually like these trading cards, but not when they're inaccurate like this. It just doesn't make any sense. But taking a look at the figure itself, in this pose right here, it still looks really freaking good. There is one huge problem, though, that I will go onto in a bit. So taking a look at this guy in a vanilla pose, standard, this still looks incredible, dude. Like, this is actually some top tier stuff. You could see all the detail. I should probably bring the camera up. Okay, and he fell over. So taking a look at this guy in a standard and, vanilla pose, this still looks incredible, dude. One complaint to say right off the bat, though, is the legs do bow out a little too much. I wish you can put them in more like that, but it's not too big of a deal, honestly. I think this guy still looks really good. You could still have a really good menacing or even, I guess, heroic vanilla pose. You just got to get the legs right and everything. The diaper piece did warp a little bit, but it went back down, as you can see. Dude, this thing looks awesome. Just the detail and the texture and everything they did on this guy looks insane. The paint is stellar. They went all out and they really did such a good job. Some good stuff. And then you got the knee pads, which are also that shiny blue color. Even the sides here, all the detail is there. The back is painted and everything here. They did a good job. The armor pads on the shoulders are really good. This just, it's a really good figure, man. And the head sculpt is pretty damn good. Just looking at that here, you definitely see a resemblance. The only thing that pisses me off is that they have a huge silver splotch of paint right on his cheek, which really pisses me off because this thing looks so cool. And like, you have that there and it just like, well, I can't scrape it off either. And it's just gonna leave whatever, because the face is also painted completely. So that's a real bummer. But the silver helmet piece looks pretty good. I don't remember if it was this color. I don't think it was, but it doesn't bother me. I still think it looks really cool. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a darker hue of blue, but honestly, to me, it doesn't really, detract a lot. I don't, like, this is more my personal preference. I wish it was more regular, like a head, like the head. I wish they gave him the head sculpt before he had this weird helmet piece on, because he kind of had it on for a while and it was like really annoying. I don't know why they gave this to him. but I think that's more of a design choice in the game rather than the figure. So that's not the figure's fault, and that's not McFarlane's fault either. So yeah, no S on the back for this cape, but the way the cape looks is actually pretty nice. You got the, you know, swoosh off here, but it looks nice for like, you know, like just standing there and having a swoosh over it. So that looks really good. The arms, like I said before, look really nice. All of that texturing is there, and this just looks really, really good. The boots are a different red than the arms or the hands here. But yeah, dude, this looks freaking awesome. Like, you have that SuperMan symbol there, which is really good. This just looks amazing. And I saw this and I was like, damn, I really gotta pick this up. Glad I did, because I really like this. The look of it is really great. So moving on to the articulation, how high can this guy look up? With that double ball peg, this is how high he looks up. Like, sort of utilizing that diaphragm piece right here. Does it? Yeah, it's like just stays. So like right there, which is pretty good. I don't mind it, because then you're also going to be using, like, that's how far he looks up. And you use a diaphragm joint. He's basically just flying forward, so that's great. Looking down on people, as Superman always does, looking down is really great. So if you want to have a flying pose where he's looking down at Batman or somebody in the city, maybe about to kill him, no, but that looks pretty good too. Then you also have some really great tilt. So here's McFarlane just showing off Hasbro on how to do a good double ball peg there. So all around is really freaking great. And then you have the arms, which have those rotator, or not rotator, but those cups here. So that way it defeats the gap or just closes it up. So all that arm range there is also really good. These are glued on, I believe, to the bicep. So if you move the bicep, you move these shoulder pads as well. So be careful with that, because I can see this easily breaking if you twist it the wrong way. But it is also flexible, so he can move his arm this high up, which for having these big shoulder pads, that is really, really great. I really do like that. Definitely better executed than the Blue Beetle figure. So double jointed elbows move up pretty much perfectly, and no problem either. You have the standard McFarlane wrist hinge, so you can move it in any way you please, and you can also twist it as well. You have the diaphragm joint, which moves this far back, which is great for flying poses. And then side to side, it's not the best, but it's not the worst either. And then crunching forward, you have very little. This top piece is very little. It's really the bottom piece doing all the heavy work, but still, it's not enough. It's definitely to where I'm gonna have to modify this, which I honestly might. But overall, it's not bad. It just does need some work on forward crunch, but it's definitely better than some of the others I've seen. It's not like a complete gridlock. You can get some forward movement a little bit there. Is that, the hell is that? But yeah, you'd also have the rotating all the way around on the bottom and the top as well. So that's pretty nice. And then with the hips, they kick out this far, which is pretty much all you're really gonna need. You can get him to do a splits if you really wanted to. You can actually kick out the leg this far forward, which is great. That is warping that diaper piece, but it will go right back down. And then you have this far back, which is not bad. I never really need the figures to kick completely back anyway. I can't tell if these scratches and nicks on the side are intentional or not. It looks like it, and I don't mind it, but I can't tell. And then you have the double jointed knees, which work pretty good. There is some blockage there, but it's not bad. The proportioning looks like it's pretty correct, and I do like that. So that's pretty good. You have no thigh swivel, unfortunately. It's kind of just stuck there, which kind of sucks. And then for the ankle, I'm going to use this one. It moves all the way down, which is really great. And then it moves all the way up, which is also amazing. You can rotate the ankle, and you have the pivot as well with toe articulation. So this definitely packs a lot in, and it's definitely, there's a lot to enjoy about this figure. Like, when you get over the fact of the detail on this guy, you kind of have to like the design in order to like the figure, I guess, because it's like, If you don't like the Injustice 2 design, then the figure obviously is just that. Is it a little difficult to stand? You just gotta get it in the right ratchets with the ankles and stuff. But I do believe you can. You just kind of gotta like push that up a little bit. So it is, you do gotta finagle with it just a small bit to get it to stand, but it's not too difficult. There we go. See? So yeah, like you kind of gotta like the design to like the figure, the look of it, the aesthetic. So once you get over the aesthetic, you're like, okay, let's pose this guy around. It's still so much fun. I've done some poses and it's still pretty good. Like you can get this guy in a good shelf pose, and even just standing there, he looks really freaking cool. And I definitely think this is a win. This looks really great, and the articulation is not bad. So that's honestly, I think it's really great. I love this figure. And measuring this guy, you can see he stands a little over the 7-inch mark. Since this is Injustice, you can technically just put this guy with anything since it is the video game version. So here he is next to DC Rebirth Deathstroke and the Power Suit Lex Luthor. And I think these two look really cool next to each other. They look really great. If anything, it's like Superman gets a powered suit to, you know, you could just imagine whatever, go against Lex, and these two look so similar, these two like middle pieces, and even everything going up to the symbol with the shoulder pads, and like, to me this just looks so sick next to each other. I find that really, really cool. And putting him next to the guy, that's basically the reason for this whole game, or at least for the first one anyway. Let's get him next to the DC versus Vampires Joker there, which scales pretty well. And honestly, I'm not really picky with my Jokers, so I could see, you know, Superman and this guy being put next to each other as the Injustice Joker, since they kind of don't have one that isn't, I believe, like way too expensive for no reason. And putting him next to another guy who would probably drive him insane, let's put him next to the Reverse Flash there from the DC Rebirth series with these weak ankles. There he goes, and he's not gonna stand. There we go. That looks pretty cool. I think this Superman fits with a lot of characters, which I really like. And since he also fought, or at least in the comics, and apparently the first game, in that Arkham Asylum area where this guy died. Oh, spoiler alert, my bad. But let's put him next to Nightwing, which I, again, think these two scale really nicely. And to put Superman next to some Batmans, unfortunately, I don't have the Injustice 2 Batman, and I don't think I'm gonna get him because it's not a figure that I really am looking forward to, but I do have another Batman that I really want to put him next to. Just hasn't come in yet, but here he is next to DC Rebirth Batman, and I think he looks pretty good. I think these two scale pretty well. Superman is supposed to be a little taller than Batman, but if you really don't want it to be, they can kind of pretty much be like the same height. Superman is a little taller, but honestly, I don't really care. I think this looks pretty good, and apparently the BVS Batman is a similar size to the DC Rebirth Batman, so that is pretty interesting. Let's see, what else can I put him next to? Putting him next to the Dark Knight Returns Superman with the Henry Cavill head sculpt on there for some reason. I don't know why I thought this looked good, but let's put those two next to each other. Here's how he stands. Which, damn, he's big. Oh, my lights. Yeah, he's taller. Wow, he towers over this Superman. That's pretty odd, but that's pretty funny. Here he stands next to the Page Punchers Captain Cold and the Dark Knight Returns Batman. Here's the Superman next to some of the DCEU figures. We have the Shazam Fury of the Gods Wonder Woman and Shazam Fury of the Gods Shazam. And I think these two look really, really good together. These two look awesome. Like, it's just, it fits in with so many different things. Because it's a video game, it fits in with some of the other stuff, like maybe more the comic stuff or whatever this is from. Rebirth, I don't know. But this fits in with that so well. It also fits in with these really well. It just, and especially if you put them to another figure like Blue Beetle, this DCEU figure. Or not DCEU, but the James Gunn universe. Like, that looks really good with it. And it just pairs really well. Even with this Flash, like, I think he would look really good with this Wonder Woman and the BVS Batman. looks freaking sick. Just putting these two together. This diaper piece is so warped out of its mind. That doesn't make any sense, but like these two also look really great. So yeah, this honestly just looks sick to me. I can't wait to pose this guy with so many other figures. I'm putting him next to the DCEU Superman from the Justice League, the red and blue version. This figure I do not like as much as I originally did. I think they just need to redo it at this point. It's also not easy to stand. Gosh, okay, there we go. Like, he also towers over this guy. Apparently people said that he was way too big, and he makes the BVS Batman look so puny, which I really just think they need to redo this guy. Like, I should not have to do this much custom work on a figure in order for it to be semi-enjoyable. Like, I had to mod the hands, the torso, had to fix the paint on it. That's a look, this is a conversation for another video, but like, damn. Putting him next to the Black Adam from the movie, I think he looks pretty good with him as well. And then putting him next to another DCEU figure, putting him next to the Flash, the more comic accurate suit there, the gold label version. They look great. This Superman looks so good with all these figures, and I really love how much you can just mix and match. I think it looks really good, and I really like that. So with all that being said, what are my final thoughts? I'm beyond satisfied with this figure. The only thing that is drawing it back is the fact that we got a regular display stand instead of the flying stand, which I feel like instead of saying, oh, well, we wouldn't have gotten the hands, nah, I think they could have done it. So I am going to be a little harsh on that aspect and kind of dumb down some points, but not too much because this thing is still awesome. It looks so good with so many other figures, and even alone, the paint is nice, the detail is nice, the sculpt is amazing, the texture is really great. I was gonna say the paint, but the paint again is really good. The way it looks, the accuracy to it's all just there. Like, the sculpt is just off the charts, man. And then the articulation is not bad at that. Like, this is a decent pose that you can get him into, but I'm sure if you wanted to be more dynamic with it, bring these legs closer and turn that torso, put the head up, bring those arms out, you can get even more of a menacing pose there, which looks sick in my opinion. I think this looks really great, especially with the cape flowing in the back. This is just an excellent piece to me, and I'm very satisfied. I paid $20, even though I know the retail is $24 or $25. So coming in at the $25 price point, I feel like we could have gotten that flight stand or maybe another pair of hands. But I think this thing is really great, and I definitely am not disappointed or even coming in close. So if you do see this, definitely pick it up. I don't think you'll be disappointed. If you don't mind the design, this is an awesome figure. And with that being said, that's gonna be it. So if you've enjoyed, please give this video a like, and if you want to see more and you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you know when I post more videos like this. Don't forget, spread love, unity, be greater together. See you all with the truth on the next one.